Yes, sir. You can continue, sir, now. Sorry.
Yes, ma'am. Again, I need the post access, I think, to share my screen.
Oh my God. Wait.
Yes.
Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir. I gave you, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
I gave you, sir. Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I will do.
Yeah, sir. You can carry on.
Students, are you able to see the screen now? I hope.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The first chapter in 12th grade physics, it is electric charges and fields, as I have told you a little while ago. So before going in detail into the various formula, various equations and all, I would like to give you a small introduction about the historical background of electric charges. So before I am going to discuss with you what is meant by electric charge and all, I will be giving you a small information about the historical background of electric charges. So how did they find or how did they discover this electric charge? Initially, when people, actually Greek people, so when they actually rubbed this amber is nothing but a solid material that is formed from the resin of a fossilized tree. So when they rubbed this amber with animal fur, they found that this amber got the ability to attract small pieces of leaf and dust. So this surprised those people, and moreover, not only amber. So little while later, I think. So when they so actually this amber is nothing but a solid material formed from the resin of a fossilized tree. So when they rubbed this with animal fur, they noticed that the amber started attracting small pieces of leaves and dust. So not only amber and many other materials, for example, this glass rod. Okay, so this glass rod, when they rubbed that glass rod with a silk cloth, they found that the glass rod also got the ability to attract pieces of paper. So here the glass rod, when you rub this glass rod with silk cloth, actually what is happening is that the normal uncharged glass rod, it becomes charged. So when it is rubbed with silk cloth, the silk cloth is also charged, whereas the glass rod also becomes charged. So they took two separate glass rods and they took two separate silk cloths, and when they rubbed the glass rods with silk cloths, so one glass rod with another silk cloth and the second glass rod with second silk cloth. So when they rubbed these materials together, they found that these got the ability. Okay, so these glass rod and the silk cloth, they got the ability to attract certain pieces of paper, and moreover, when you bring this charged glass rod with another glass rod, they found that both repel each other. And when they brought this silk cloth with another silk cloth, they found that they both repel each other. And when they brought this charged glass rod with the charged silk cloth, so they found that they both attracted each other. So what happened actually is that the normal uncharged materials, whether it is amber or glass rod or silk cloth, so these normal uncharged materials, when they are rubbed with another material, they become charged. Okay, so this is the process of charging an uncharged material through rubbing, and this is called triboelectric charging. Actually, this is called triboelectric charging. Nothing but charging the objects through rubbing. This is called triboelectric charging. Okay. So this is what electric charge is all about. So when certain materials are rubbed with another materials, you find that the materials become charged. Okay. So now let us discuss something about the meaning of this electric charge. So what is meant by electric charge? We all know very well. Okay, we all know very well that atom is made up of protons and electrons. Okay, so atom is made up of protons and electrons. So the number of protons is actually equal to the number of electrons, which make the atom electrically neutral. That you all know very well, and we have neutrons as well. Okay, so in an atom you find that electrons are revolving around the nucleus and electrons are negatively charged, whereas protons are also there. Protons are positively charged. So in normal circumstances, the number of protons is always equal to the number of electrons, making the atom electrically neutral. So atoms are the building blocks of materials, and since materials are also made up of atoms, they are also neutral in general. That means they are not charged. Now what happens is that when you rub these materials, for example, the glass rod with silk cloth, okay, that kind of rubbing, I am just giving you an example for rubbing. So when the rubbing happens, there will be a transfer of electrons from one material to another material. Okay, so when electrons are transferred from one material to another material, what happens is the normal uncharged materials, now one material loses electrons, the another material has gained electrons. So the material now becomes charged. So whatever material has accepted the electrons, the material has become negatively charged, and whatever material has lost electrons, it becomes positively charged. So during rubbing, it is the electron transfer from one material to another material, okay, that makes an uncharged body a charged body. So it is nothing but the electrons which actually gives charge to your body. Actually, electrons are transferred from one material to another material, and due to the transfer of these electrons, materials are becoming charged. So we all know very well the charge of an electron is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. So this is the charge of an electron value. Okay, minus 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. So this is the charge of an electron, and when material has excess of electrons, it becomes negatively charged, and when material loses electrons, it becomes positively charged. Okay, so whenever you say a material is a charged body, that means it has electrons in excess or it is deficit of electrons. So now we are going to discuss the basic properties of electric charges. So before going in detail into the various formula and equations, we need to understand the meaning of this point charge. Okay, this point charge. So what is the meaning of this point charge? So this point charge is nothing but when the sizes of these charged materials, okay, when the sizes of these charged bodies or materials, when they are very small compared to the distance between them, that means the distance is very large between the two bodies, then we call the two bodies or the two charged bodies as point charges. Okay, so we call them point charges. When do we call them point charges? The distance between the two charged bodies should be very, very large compared to the dimensions of the charged bodies. Then we call them point charges. And a point charge is usually represented by the letter small q. Sometimes you can use capital Q as well, but conventionally we use this small q. Okay. So then the first property is the additivity of charges. So I have told you earlier, the point charge is represented by small q. Okay. So when you have a system and you have n number of charges, that is here you can see a system consisting of charges q1, q2, q3 and qn. That is n number of charges are there in the system, and we represent each charge by q1, q2, q3 and qn. Then the total charge of the system is given by q1 plus q2 plus q3 plus up to qn. That means you have to add all the charges algebraically. That is what is meant by algebraic addition. You have to consider the sign of the charges as well. So here I have given you an example for that. You can see 1 coulomb, 2 coulomb, 3 coulomb and 4 coulomb. All these 4 charges have different signs. So this 1 coulomb has positive sign and the 2 coulomb has positive sign. 3 coulomb has negative sign and 4 coulomb has positive sign. So these are the 4 point charges present in the system. This is just one of the examples. So then the total charge of the system is given by this thing. So you have to add all the charges. 1 plus 2. Here you have minus. So minus 3 plus 4. And you have minus 5 as well. So then the total charge of the system is given by this algebraic addition. And after going for algebraic addition, you will be getting minus 1 coulomb. So whenever you have n number of charges present in a system, then the total charge is given by the algebraic sum of all the charges. So this is the first property or additivity of charges. So then the second property is conservation of electric charges, and which is a very simple property. Conservation means, I hope you all might have studied about the conservation of energy. Okay, energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. Like that, here conservation of charges means you cannot create a charge or you cannot destroy a charge. All you can do is transfer the charges from one material to another material. So you can't actually destroy or create. So the total charge of any system remains constant. That means the charges are conserved. Okay, that is called conservation of electric charges. So this is the next property. And then the third property is the quantization of electric charge. Quantization of electric charge means whenever you want to find out the total charge on any object, okay, how will you find that? That is just the integral multiple of E. Okay, E is nothing but the charge of an electron value or charge of the proton value as well. So whenever you want to find out the total charge on any object or any material, that is simply the integral multiple of E. Okay, integral multiple of E. So Q equal to N into E, where N is any integer. It can be 0, plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, like that. Okay. So what does it mean? The electric charge value cannot take any arbitrary value. It has to be an integral multiple of the basic unit E. Okay. So whenever you say this body is a charged body and you want to find out the total charge on the body, you have to see how many electrons are in deficit or how many electrons are in excess in that material or in that body. Okay. So you have to just consider the number of electrons in excess or number of electrons in deficit, and then you have to multiply that with the basic unit E, so that you will be getting the total charge value. Okay. So when a material loses electrons during the process of charging, the net charge in the material is positive. Otherwise, when a material gains electrons during the charging process, the material becomes negatively charged. Okay. So this is what quantization of electric charge is all about. So in a nutshell, what I want to tell you is that the electric charge value is not an arbitrary one. It is actually in the form of integral multiple of this basic unit, small e. Okay. The small e value is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. So for electron, it will take negative sign, and for proton, it is plus 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. So this is the basic, these are the basic properties of electric charges. And for the charge quantization or the quantization of electric charges, I would like to give you an example for that. So example here is that calculate the number of electrons in 1 coulomb of negative charge. So you have 1 coulomb of negative charge. How many electrons are there? You have to find out that. How will you find out? We have to go for the quantization of charge formula. Okay, quantization of charge formula. Q equal to Ne. Q equal to Ne, and here we have to find out the number of electrons. So N is required. N is required, and we know the value of E. E is nothing but 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. And Q here it is given as 1 coulomb. Okay. So 1 coulomb of negative charge, how many electrons are there? So that's what we have to find out. For that, we use this charge quantization concept. So for Q, we have to use 1 coulomb. N is the unknown term, and E is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. So for finding N, you have to bring this 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb to the other side. So N equal to 1 divided by 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. So what you have to do, you have to simplify this. Okay, after simplification, you will be getting this value. 0.625 into 10 power 19, or 6.25 into 10 power 18 electrons. So this is the number of electrons in 1 coulomb of negative charge. For finding this, you have to apply the charge quantization concept or quantization of electric charge concept. Okay. So then we are going to discuss something about the charging by induction. Okay, charging by induction. So little while ago, I discussed something with you regarding the rubbing process, or charging a body through the process of rubbing. Okay, initially when electric charges concept was discovered, they found that they can charge a body by the process of rubbing. For that only they rubbed the glass rod with silk cloth and amber with fur and all. Okay, so for charging a body, usually rubbing process was used in during those times, but there's another method through which you can charge a body. Okay, through which you can charge an uncharged body. And what is that method? That is called charging by induction. Okay, so charging by induction. So what is mean by charging by induction? So instead of bringing the two materials in physical contact with each other, what you are doing is you can charge an uncharged body without any physical contact. Okay, without any actual physical contact, you are actually charging an uncharged body. That is called charging by induction. Okay, you are not bringing into any physical contact the two bodies, so that the body will acquire a charge. So how it is possible? Let us take an example here. So this is a charged glass rod. Okay, it is full of negative charges. As you see here, you have minus sign in this glass rod. It is full of negative charges. And when you bring this negatively charged glass rod close to the sphere, the sphere is initially uncharged. So what happens is, after seeing these negative charges, okay, these positive charges in the sphere, they move forward towards the negatively charged glass rod. Okay. So the important concept in this topic or the electric charges is that like charges repel each other and unlike charges attract each other. So that's why a charged glass rod is repelled by another charged glass rod. Okay, a charged glass rod is attracted by a charged silk cloth. So here you have negative charges. After seeing these negative charges, the positive charges in the sphere are attracted and they move forward towards the negatively charged glass rod. At the same time, the negative charges in the sphere are pushed away, okay, to this side of the sphere. So then what you are doing is you actually connect a wire from the sphere to the ground. This process is called earthing. So this end of the sphere is earthed now. What happens is these negative charges which were present here actually, they actually move through this wire to the ground. Okay, due to the earthing process. Earthing means you have a connecting wire and the wire is connected to ground. The negative charges actually move through the wire and they move into the ground. These positive charges, they won't move to the ground because you have a negatively charged glass rod here, and these positive charges are actually attracted towards the negatively charged glass rod. So they are present on this side of the sphere still. Okay. So then all the negative charges have moved to the ground. So now you can see the negatively charged glass rod here, the positive charges alone here in this sphere. So the negative charges have moved to the ground. Now what you are doing is you remove this negatively charged glass rod, and then you will be having only positive charges in this sphere. And when you remove this negatively charged glass rod, the positive charge is redistributed throughout this sphere in this way. Okay. But before that, you have to remove this earthing wire. Otherwise, what will happen is when you remove this negatively charged glass rod, all the positive charges will also move through the conducting wire to the ground. Okay. So this is how you can charge a body through induction. So the next thing is conductors and insulators. So this is a very, very basic concept. Conductors are those materials that allow electricity to pass through them easily. Okay. So electricity can pass through them easily, but insulators, the electricity won't pass through them easily. Okay, they offer high resistance to the passage of electricity through them. And as far as conductors is concerned, so whenever you put some charge in the conductor, it gets redistributed over the entire surface as it has happened in the previous example. But when you put some charge on an insulator, it stays at the same place. Okay. So these are the basic things which I wanted to discuss with you before moving in detail into the equations and formulas. So now we are going to see an important law that is called Coulomb's law. So what is meant by Coulomb's law? Whenever you have 2 point charges, okay, whatever may be the sign of the point charges, you can find out the nature of electrostatic force between those 2 point charges with the help of this Coulomb law. Okay. So whenever you have 2 point charges, as you can see here, Q1 is one positive charge and Q2 is another positive charge. Okay, the magnitude of these charges are different. Okay, the magnitude means the charge value. For example, this charge may have 10 coulomb and this charge may have 20 coulomb values. So that is just an example. Both are positive charges and they have different values. Okay. So here you have 2 point charges, and when you want to find out the electrostatic force between these 2 point charges, you can use the Coulomb's law. The Coulomb's law states that the electrostatic force, whether it is attraction or repulsion between these 2 point charges, is directly proportional to the product of the 2 point charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So that thing has been illustrated by this equation. So what does it mean? So you have charge Q2 here, and F21 means the electrostatic force exerted on charge 2 by charge 1. Okay, the force exerted on charge 2 by charge 1, that is represented by F21. Okay, force exerted on charge 2 by charge 1, that is equal to K into Q1 Q2 by R squared into R12 cap. Why we have to put R12 cap here? R12 is nothing but the unit vector directed from charge 1 to charge 2. Why we have to use this unit vector? Because this Coulomb's force or the electrostatic force is a vector quantity. So you have to impart the direction here. So that's why you have to use this R12 cap as the unit vector. So what is the purpose of unit vector actually? It is to impart direction to a particular scalar. So when you just put K into Q1, Q2 by R squared, you have magnitude only. And when you impart this unit vector with this, then you are giving direction also to this force. So F21, vector F21. This is the force exerted on charge 2 by charge 1, charge Q2 by charge Q1. So here what is this K value? That is K equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. So this is applicable only when you place these two charges in vacuum. Okay. So when you place these two charges in vacuum only, this 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is applicable. And what is the value of this 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught? That is 9 into 10 power 9 Newton meter squared per Coulomb squared. So this is the value of this proportionality constant, K. And what is the value of this epsilon 0? And what is the meaning of this epsilon 0? That is the permittivity of free space. It is related to the ability of the medium to allow the electric field to pass through it. So this is the permittivity of free space or vacuum. So whenever you place these charges in free space or vacuum, then you have this epsilon naught. The value of this epsilon naught is 8.85 into 10 power minus 12 Coulomb square per Newton per meter square. Right. So when you put this Q1 equal to Q2 equal to 1 Coulomb and R equal to 1 meter, then you will be getting 9 into 10 power 9 into 1 into 1, Q1 into Q2 divided by R squared, that is 1 square. So this is 9 into 10 power 9 Newton, and this is how you can define, okay, this force as well. So 9 into 10 power 9 Newton, and you can define 1 Coulomb using this calculation. So what is mean by 1 Coulomb? So when placed at a distance of 1 meter from a similar charge, then it will experience a force of 9 into 10 power 9 Newton. That is the meaning of 1 Coulomb. So as I have told you, this 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is applicable only in case of free space or vacuum. So here, when you take a medium of permittivity epsilon, then you have to use 1 by 4 pi epsilon. Okay, instead of epsilon 0, you have to use epsilon. So what is this epsilon? This is the permittivity of the given medium, whatever medium you are taking. So it is really important in which medium you are actually placing the charges. So this epsilon will give you the permittivity. So permittivity of the medium is given by this epsilon, and that is nothing but epsilon equal to epsilon 0 into epsilon r. So this epsilon r is the relative permittivity of the medium. For air or vacuum, that is actually 1. Okay. So usually for other media, this relative permittivity value, this epsilon r, it is greater than 1 actually. For other media other than air, that is epsilon r value greater than 1. So initially I talked about F21, that is force exerted on charge 2 due to charge 1. Here I have written the equation for the force exerted on charge 1 due to charge 2. Okay. So here K into Q1 Q2 by R squared, same formula, but the unit vector changes R21. That is the unit vector directed from charge 2 to charge 1, which you can see here. Okay. So here you can see from charge 2 to charge 1. That is R21. Here I have shown you R12. So when you want to calculate F12, you have to include the unit vector from charge Q2 to charge Q1. So that's what I have done here. So when you put R21 here, that is actually equal in magnitude but opposite in direction to this R21. Both the unit vectors are equal in magnitude, but direction is different. So this R12, you are moving from charge 1 to charge 2. When this charge R21, that means you have to move from charge 2 to charge 1. So unit vector magnitude is same, but the directions are opposite. So here you can substitute, instead of R21, you can substitute minus R12 in this equation. This is nothing but the value of F21 with the negative sign in it. So F12 equal to minus F21. What is the meaning of this? So the forces exerted are equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. That means here you can see, so whenever this charge Q2, okay, so whenever this charge Q2 exerts a force on this Q1, at the same time the charge Q1 exerts a force on charge Q2, but both are equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. So that's why the arrow mark is pointing away from the charge Q2. Okay. So this is what you need to understand. The charges are equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. Then we are going to discuss the superposition principle. That means whenever you have more number of charges in a system, okay, Q1, Q2 up to Qn, whenever you have more number of charges, Q1, Q2, Q3 up to Qn, then what you have to do is, on Q1, what is the force exerted by Q2? On Q1, what is the force exerted by Q3? Okay. On Q1, what is the force exerted by Q4? Similarly, on what is the force exerted by Qn? So what you have to do is, you have to find the force exerted on this charge due to all the other charges, one by one. Okay, one by one you have to find out the force exerted on charge Q1. So due to charge Q2, charge Q3, charge Q4, like that. So one by one you have to calculate each forces. So here I have calculated the force exerted on charge Q1 due to Q2. So F12 equal to this equation according to Coulomb's law. Similarly, F13, that means force exerted on this Q1 due to this Q3. Okay. So F13 equal to K into Q1 Q3 by R31 squared. So like that, what you have to do is, you have to find the force exerted on this charge Q1 by all the other charges, and then you have to go for this vector summation. Okay. So you have to go for this vector summation, or the summation of all the forces. The total force exerted on charge Q1 is the summation, that is due to charge Q2, charge Q3, charge Q4, and up to charge Qn. Okay. So on charge Q1, you have to find out the forces due to all the other charges, and then you have to add them. Okay. While adding, you will be getting this k as common, or the proportionality constant as common. All the other terms are included within the bracket. This is called the superposition principle. Superposition principle means you can find out the force exerted on each charge due to the other charges. So based on this, we are going to see an example problem. So what is the problem here? Here you can see you have a charge small q is placed at the center of the line joining two equal charges capital Q, such that the system is in equilibrium. Then the value of Q is, okay, we have a charge small q, it is placed at the center of the line joining two equal charges capital Q. I have depicted this in this diagram. You can see here you have two capital charges, two charges represented by the letter capital Q, and small q is placed at the center. Okay, small q is placed at the center of the line joining these two equal charges. Okay, equal charges means their magnitude is same and the sign is also same. So now you have kept this small q charge. This charge is kept at the center of this line joining the two charges. Now the entire system is in equilibrium. What is the meaning of this equilibrium condition? We all know very well that so there will be a Coulomb force of repulsion between two like charges and Coulomb force of attraction between unlike charges as well. So when you have these three charges here, there will be Coulomb forces among the charges, and despite the presence of all these Coulomb forces, now the entire system remains in equilibrium. Okay, so how will you find that? The net force should be 0. That means the system is in equilibrium. Okay, whenever you find the word the system is in equilibrium, you need to understand that the net force on each charge is 0. Okay, the net force on each charge is 0, then only the system will be in equilibrium. So here let me take for example this charge capital Q. Okay, the force on this capital Q due to the small q, and moreover the force on this capital Q, once again, hello ma'am. Ma'am, tell me ma'am. Oh, okay ma'am, okay. Students will be joining there, right? Okay ma'am, okay. Then I will leave the meeting. Okay ma'am, okay. Students, do you have any doubt now? In case you don't have any doubt, then we shall continue in the next session. Okay. Ma'am, actually, I am giving you the host control.
Ma'am, we can't hear.
Hello, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, I couldn't hear your voice, ma'am. Hello. 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 Can you hear me voice, ma'am? I couldn't hear your voice, ma'am. That's why. Hello. Hello. Hello, ma'am. I couldn't hear your voice, ma'am. Please. Hello. Hello, ma'am. Hello. Hello, my dear students. Good evening, all of you. Today we are.
Good evening.
Okay. Now only I hear your voice. Okay. Hello. Okay.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, all of you. So today we are going to discuss about the topic reproduction. Already you know about that reproductions. Okay. Before that, we must note it down. What are the special characteristic features of the plant as well as the animals? Hello. All are you hearing my voice? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Okay. Anyhow, so I'll continue the lessons. Today we are going to discuss about the reproductions. Will you please tell me what is meant by reproductions? Reproduction is nothing but the physiological and biological process in which an organism gives rise to a young one. Otherwise called as it gives a young one. What is the meaning of young one? It is nothing but the offspring. Hello. Sir. Hello. First, before that, we must know what is my reproduction. What are the type of reproduction is that? How they are classified? These things we must note it out. Before that, the general concept of the reproduction is defined as a biological process in which an organism gives rise to a young one, otherwise called as offspring. Reproduction enables the continuity of the species. generation after the generations. Already you know about the things. How it will happens? You know, each and every organism, it has its own habitats, its internal physiological and several other factors also collectively responsible for how it reproduces. One thing is that remember, reproduction is not restricted to the organism level only, and also it is related to the organic molecules such as nucleic acid. Replicate by the method is called as replication. You know about what is my DNA and RNA, isn't it? First of all, the DNA and RNA undergo the replication process, then only it will transfer the genetic character from the one generation to another one. Then only the offspring will possible. Okay. Here, what we are going to discuss is, as normally the organism are divided into two types in our board. One is called as unicellular or multicellular organisms. And sometimes it may be a cellular organism is also is there. It is also collectively called as a single cell, otherwise called as protist. How they reproduce by themselves? You know, it reproduces by a relatively simple method. Which one? The acellular organism. Example, protista, otherwise called as protist, reproduced by a relatively simple method. So what are the simple method? Already you know about so many things is there. One is called as budding, and also another one is called as saprophytic, sporophytic and polyembryonic, and also parthenogenesis. These are all considered getting known as the simple method. What about the higher animals? Take an examples of multicellular animals. They can reproduce by the complex method. What is meant by complex method? You know about the sexual reproductions. What is my sexual? You know, male as well as the female sex organ is also there. Corresponding gametes also produced. The two gametes are united together as a result of formation of zygote. Then only it will enter into the meiotic cell division. As a result, finally, it produces the exact similar copy of the parent. That is called as, it is a very complicated because in between there are so many.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. I think we are not able to see your board or screens. Are you sharing anything? Yeah.
Yeah, just a minute, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Just a minute. Just a minute. Okay. Properly, sorry. It's not connecting. See. Can you see the things? So, excuse me.
Yes, we can see. Yes.
Are you?
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. So today we are going to discuss the reproduction. Already we discussed what are the things is that already I told you. Reproduction defined as the biological process in which an organism gives rise to the young one. Young one means you know about then only the generation will be passed on to the next generation. Okay. So and also another thing is what is that, how it will be reproduced. There are two things is that one is called as divisions of nucleus and also cytoplasm division, that is called as karyokinesis, and also another one is called as cytokinesis. Hello, sir. Okay. So that process is called as, suppose if it is the nucleic is replicated to gives another one, that method is called as replication. Okay, that things also mentioned there. Exact copy of the parents also, what will happen? Produce, that is called as offspring, already we discussed. Second thing is what is that, in higher plant, reproduce is either without the, what is that, involvement of the sex organs or fission of gametes, that is called as asexually, or with the involvement of the sex organs, stamens and pistils. Already you know about the higher plants, animals also having the special male as well as the female sex organ is also is the corresponding gametes also produced, and both the gametes are maximum haploid in nature, because n stage is that when it come and contact close together, as a result of formation of zygote. The zygote is always in diploid condition. It's not only the diploid condition, some of the life cycle will be haplontic in nature, some of them are haplontic in nature, some of them are diplohaplandic in nature. Take an example, human beings, the male as well as the female, each gamete is also haploidic nature. Okay, when it joins together, undergoes the meiotic cell division, what happened, a diploidic nature, and finally it gives a diploid. So first the haploid gametes produce, that gametes are united or fused, as a result the zygote is also diploid nature, and also it develop continuously and finally to the adult. So you'll get the diploid nature of the human beings, otherwise called as a child. Again it grow, it gives a produce a, what is the, whether it may be male or female gametes, what happened, it produces the corresponding gamete in haploid in nature. Okay, these are the things. Okay, next one is what is that, in some cases special method of reproduction, already told you. What is meant by parthenogenesis? Parthenogenesis is nothing but the fruit formation takes place without fertilization. Without fertilization, the fruits also possible. It may be natural, some of them are artificial in nature. These things, when you are going to study in the phytohormones, that time we can study these things. Sorry. Okay. And next one is sporophytic. What is meant by sporophytic? For example, asexual reproduction is also done by the lower plant as well as the lower plant. Take an examples of algae and fungi. Okay, they produce their spores. They produce their spores. They are all collectively called as zoospores. For example, take an examples of chlamydomonas, volvox. These are all are produce spores. The spores are motile in nature. What is the meaning of motile? Means it can be moved from the one place to another place. That means it can be easily movable from the one place to another place. That's why it is called as what is that, motile nature. Okay, and then another one is called as budding. Budding is also one of the reproductive methods mostly present in the yeast. Take an examples of yeast and hydra and another things in planaria and so on. So many lower organisms, and otherwise called as unicellular as well as a multicellular organism also having these type of things. What is the meaning of this one? It is take an examples of yeast. Yeast is one of the fungi. Okay, it produces the cell wall. The cell wall produces a protrude like structure is called as what is that? A small bud like structure, that is called as budding. That bud is also when it's grow completely. When it is grow completely, it detaches from the parent, and fell down and grow as a new one. Okay, likewise there are so many things is also that. Okay, and another one is called as polyembryony. What is the meaning of embryony? Embryo is nothing but a single growth, single part. It grows as an entire plant. That is called as totipotential. Okay, what is my polyembryony? More than embryo present in a single thing. It may be divided into so many nucleases. That means the condition is called as co-enocytic. Co-enocytic. This is also very, very important, or also reported. These are all are reported by the many scientists in different the plant as well as the animals. Okay, then go to the next one is not only the genetic factors and also the physiological factors also involved in this process, and also one more is that hormone is also regulate their reproductive process. That means the certain environmental factor regulate the reproductive process and then associated behavioral experience of the organism. These are the things. And second heading is lifespan. What is my lifespan? Already you know about the period from the birth to the natural death of an organisms. Okay, organism represented lifespan. The period of birth to the natural death of an organism represents its lifespan. Lifespan of organisms are not necessarily correlate with their size. Okay, take an example, say elephant. Elephant, it also having the how many years, you know, just to see the diagram, sorry, the tabulations. See that elephant, it has a which one? I think here not given here. The elephant is 70 years. The Indian elephant, it has a lifespan is 70 years. Okay, and also another one is, and take an example, giant tortoise. It has a 152 years of lifespan. Which one? It has a small, see that hummingbird. Hummingbird is 8 years is that, isn't it? These are the different. And one more is that, take an example of house mouse. A small animals, they are having the lifespan up to 3.5 years. Okay, these are the examples. Okay, and lifespan of organism are not necessary. Already I told you, depends upon their, it is not depends upon their size. The lifespan of crow and a parrot shows wide differences. Okay, and these are the things. It's according to this one. Normally, you know very about the tortoise is the highest lifespan in it, and then one more is the taken examples of blue whale and also the big turtles. These are all are having the specific lifespan. Okay, and here they may be divided into three. According to the lifespan, they may be divided into three things. One is called as a maximum lifespan, and another one is called as average lifespan. Maximum lifespan, already I told you which one is as a maximum lifespan. You know, one is called as blue whale is the highest one, and also a giant tortoise is also highest because 152 years is it is a yes. Okay, and average lifespan means, you know what, it is the average number of years survived or age reached by the member of populations. It is the average number of your years. What is the meaning? You know, you take an example of human beings. We are having, and the olden peoples, they are having the 110 years or 100 years like that. But nowadays, the census of 2011, the male as well as females, they are having the which one, you know, the 67 to 80 years, maximum 67 for female and 65 for male. These are the average lifespan. Okay, see, and life expectancy. Okay, it is a number of years an individual can expect to live, and it is based on their average lifespan. Expected lifespan, it may be 100 years, but they live only for how many years? 70 years or 60 years. That is it. Okay, expected lifespan, it may be more than that of the normal lifespan. That is called as expected lifespan. Okay, the maximum lifespan is the characteristics of species, and life expectancy is a characteristic of the population as given in the tabulation. Already we discussed these are the things, and as well as crab and tad. Okay, and also mulberry, and also giant salamander. Okay, cobra, like they have listed so many things. Is that here you must note it on what are the things you need. You know, two things. Which one is the highest lifespan? Which one it has a lowest lifespan? Particularly, they may ask mostly dog, cat, and those are having the those who are all are live in our domestic animals. You know, that things they may ask so many times. Okay. Then we'll pass on to the next one is called as a major types of reproductions. What is the meaning of major type of reproduction? Reproduction basically divided into three categories. One is called as a vegetative reproduction, and another one is called as what is it? Another one is called as asexual reproduction, and third one is called as sexual reproduction. These are the three things mostly present in the living organism. Okay, the asexual as well as the sexual mode of reproduction are exhibited by the higher plants. Already you know about the plant. In lower plant they are having asexual reproduction and also vegetative reproduction. In higher plants they are having sexual mode of reproduction, because already know asexual means absence of sex. Vegetative means in our body, any part of the plant body. You take an examples of root, stem, leaf, and even bud, leaf and flowers. These all are having the somatic cell. That somatic cells grow into an entire plant. Okay, it is also used mostly in the tissue culture. Already you know about the tissue culture also. In the when we are going to study the biochemical technique, that time we can easily study these things. Okay, then. So asexual already we discussed, and also vegetative. Asexual reproduction is also called as a vegetative reproduction, as well as a sexual mode of reproduction are exhibited by the higher plants, and only the sexual mode of reproduction is present in the most of the animals. Animals mostly what happen, sexual reproduction only. Okay, some of them are asexual. Okay, asexual also have unambiguous. Unambiguous means some of the, while in the animals and other simple organisms, the term asexual used and ambiguous. Ambiguous means what is the meaning? Sometimes it may be act as a asexual reproduction. Sometimes it may be sexual. Here we have to discuss one by one. Okay, first one is called as a vegetative reproduction. Already told you in plant the term vegetative reproduction is frequently used. Vegetative means plant part of the body. You take in any part. Already we discussed, which may be form of root, stem, leaf, or even bud or leaf and flowers. Okay, here root. Take an examples of root. Which one is when you are going to study the underground stem modification and okay, underground root modifications. These are all are the storage of food materials. Already know about that things. Okay, see, because the roots also produced another plant, and also it gives yield of what is that food. Vegetative reproduction, particularly as the root, there are divided into three types according to their shape and size: conical, naviform, and fusiform. And another one is called a stem. Take an example, see any stems, drumstick and rose, and also any other plants. The stems also have the ability to grow a new plant. Okay, this is also another one. And leaves, take an example of leaves. Leaves means one of the plant that is called as a bryophyllum. The bryophyllum, the margin, they are having a buds. The bud has a capability to produce a new plant. So another one is the even buds or leaf and flowers. Sometimes the flowers also grow as a new one. Okay, these are all are comes under the getting note vegetative reproduction. Take an example of sugar cane. Sugar cane is also having a is also one of the vegetative reproduction, because it grows a entire plant and gives a, because the stem is a storage ability. And second one is called as asexual reproduction. Asexual is otherwise called a single parent involved. Single parent involved. It is also one of the cloning methodology. It is also one of the cloning. Ian Milmet already did, 1996, I think. Okay, the dolly is a goat produced by the uniparent, otherwise called a single parent, is also involved in this method. A single celled or many celled parent individual either split buds or fragment into two identical daughters. That is called as, what is that? Asexual. Without the parent participation, they produce their young one similar to that of the parent. Okay, that is called as, that is also similar to that of the identical to the daughters. Daughters cells are individual by mitotic division, because it is also one of the mitotic cell division. That's why. So they have given us so many examples. For examples, amoeba, paramecium, eclina, cycon, hydra, and also planaria reproduced primarily by asexual methods. Okay, so these are all are asexual method. Third one is called as, what is the meaning? As sexual reproductions. What is the meaning of sexual reproductions? Sexual reproduction means but the sexes are separate, whether it may be a male as well as a female. Two parent, each capable of producing gametes. That means male gamete as well as the female gamete, particularly as a sperm as well as the ova, otherwise called as the egg. Spermatozoa has given, and also it can be moved from the one place to another place, because male gametes always is microspore. They can move from the one place to another place. And another one, it may be move on to where it's move on to the egg, okay, and also ova or record. Many acellular protist. What is my acellular? Completely absence of cell wall, okay, such as monocystis and plasmodium and paramecium and all metazoans employ sexual reproduction. What is my metazoans? About the metazoan is nothing but the in between the egg as well as the adult, there are so many morphological changes occurs. Given examples of what is that? The cockroach. Cockroach is a young one is called nymph. Already what is my nymph? Nymph is a young one of the cockroach. So egg and also egg develop into which one? Pupa and larva, and then last one is called as adult. These are the 4 stages occurs in the butterfly. Okay, our mosquito is also there, and particularly plasmodium, and also another thing is called as, what is that? Plasmodium. What happened? Here there are 13 metamorphoses in between the egg and adult. So there are so many morphological changes occur after it attained the, what is that, young one. Okay, so go to the next one is called as, what is that? What is that? Vegetative reproduction. Already we discussed the vegetative reproduction. The vegetative reproduction, particularly so another one is called as vegetative reproduction. Here the regeneration, we are going to see the one by one deeply. Okay, vegetative reproduction, the regeneration of the plant from the portion of the vegetative part is quite common and diverse. In vegetative propagation only, one plant is involved, and the offspring is the result of one parent. The new plant is genetically identical to the parent. Okay, vegetative reproduction already been over. What is it? It's a common one. All the plant, they are getting somatic cells. They produce the exact copy of the genetically identical. So many times they asked the questions. The vegetative reproduction takes place in which cell? Somatic or reproductive cell, and some other like that. They asked it. Okay, so you have to tell us the which one somatic cell. Vegetative reproduction takes place only in the somatic cells. In natural methods of propagation, a portion of the plant gets detached from the pot of the stem, leaf, fruit, or even flower and develop into a new independent plant under the suitable environmental conditions. Okay, the vegetative reproduction is also what is that meaning? It will not grow in the anywhere. It grow only in the under favorable conditions only. Okay, then only it will be grow. That's why it is called as vegetative reproduction. Okay, so what are the natural method of vegetative reproduction here? One is called as, first one is they have given us a root. Taproot branches can develop advantageous buds and form a new plant. For example, Twelbergia, guava, poplar. Okay, fleshy roots that develop advantageous buds also takes part in the vegetative propagation. For example, sweet potato and dahlia.
Excuse me,
and
sir.
asparagus. Yes, ma'am.
Sir,
Yes, ma'am.
your screen is not visible, sir.
Yes, ma'am. That is
Is there any problem?
no, ma'am. No, ma'am. I will connect it, ma'am, within few seconds, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Are you have you seen this thing, ma'am? No. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. First one, already we discussed the natural method of vegetative reproductions. Particularly, first one is called as root. Root already we discussed. Taproot is a branch can develop adventitious buds and form a new plant. For example, Dalbergia, Guava, and also Poplar. Fleshy roots that develop advantageous buds also takes part in the vegetative production. For example, sweet potato and also dahlia and asparagus, because they are having the what is that small bud. That bud also grow as a new plant. Second one is called as a underground stem. Underground stem also having the ability to produce a new plant, because taken examples of potato. So many times they ask the questions. Okay, in potato, which pot is grow as a new plant? They may ask the bud, axillary bud, tip, or any other things. You have to tell us that the potato there is a eye spot is there. See this sides you are having the eye spot. The eye spot is called as what is it? No, axillary bud. So many times they were asked these questions. And second one is bulb. Bulb example is known as onion. What's present inside the bulb spored to form a new plant, for example, garlic and also narcissus and also onion. These two also comes under the headings known as underground stem modification. These are all are comes under the headings known as underground stem modifications. And third one is called as corm. It is a unbranched, swollen stem bearing many buds for new plants. For example, Amorphous, Colocasia, and Crocus. These are all also considered the headings known as underground stem modifications. And then third one is also called as a rhizome. Rhizome is already in our report. It's one of the false foot. Take an examples of banana. Okay, the banana also grow with the process of underground stem. The underground stem is also converted into an entire plant. That is also one of the vegetative propagation already you know about that. They take part vegetative propagation due to the presence of buds, for example, banana, ginger, turmeric. Sometimes they may ask the question, ginger and turmeric is also considered the getting known as which one? Rhizome, corm, or bulb, or stem. You must tell which one is that. Rhizome. Okay, it is also one of the underground stem modification. And the last one is called as sucker. They are slender underground branches that develop from the base of the aerial shoot. Breaking of a sucker from an independent plant, for example, mint. Already there's so many times asked in the questions, what is mint? The mint is also which one of the following modifications, particularly tell us the corm, rhizome, or sucker, or runner, stolen, like that. They asked mostly the sucker. Okay, the mint and the chrysanthemum. These two are most of the most important questions. Okay. Next one is called as subaerial stems. Subaerial stems. Subaerial stem. Consider this headings. Runner is the first one. What is mean by runner? They are special, narrow, green, horizontal branches that develop at the base of crown and root at intervals where new crowns are also formed. For example, lawn grasses. Lawn grasses is an example, and also another one is called as what is that? Centella. Okay, centella. These are all our comes under the headings known as runners. Suppose so runners. Okay. Anyhow, go to the next one is called as stolen. Stolen is also they are a special and or structure above the ground. That first one is called as what is that? That is a narrow green horizontal branches that develop at the base of the crown, and root at intervals. But in this category, they are special or structure above the ground and horizontal branches that develop at the base of the crown and help in vegetative propagation. For example, strawberry. Strawberry is an example. Okay, here you must know what is my runner. Given examples. What is my stolen? What is the examples? What is my offset? Offset is nothing but there is a node in between. That means there is a two branches is there. The two branches in between there is a long node. Okay, long node is present. Okay, it is mostly present in the aquatic plant. For example, what is it? You know, one of the main example, Eichhornia and Pistia. Eichhornia and Pistia. Pistia is an example of offset. It's mostly they asked the question in NEET. They were asked. Okay, these are all are considered the getting underground stem modification. First one is called as root modification. Second one is called as underground stem modification. And third one is called as leaves. And the leaf also having the reproducing capacity. Leaves of many plants having advantageous buds. Already know very well about which one is no the bryophyllum, the margin, as well as the some of the plant. Taken examples of adiatum, and also another one is called as pecnonia. These are the example. Okay, and these are comes under the category known as leaves. Leaves they can produce their entire plant. Take an example, table rose. Suppose you pluck the stem and also placed into the favorable condition. What will happen? It will grow as a entire plant. It produces so many. What is that? Flowers. Okay, it is also likewise. So here the leaf modification. Leaves also participate in the what is that? Vegetative propagation. Particularly tell us advantages, but which one? Leaf also having a advantage, but that but also grow as a entire plant. Okay, this is the another one. So these are the examples. Okay, go to the next one. See, third one, bulbils. What is the meaning of bulbils? The plants such as agave. Okay, agave and wild yam and also pineapple and oxalis. These are all mostly in the xerophytic nature. Xerophytic nature means that plants will grow only in the absence of scarcity of water, like that you may tell. Okay, in plants such as agave and wild yam and pineapple, and also another one is called as what is that? And also diascaria and also oxalis and small fleshy buds called peoples. It is small buds. That bud is called bulbils. That bulb is developed into what is that? Entire plant or flowers. It's mostly present in the tip of the plant or leaf axis, and sometimes it may be present in the tuberous roots and also gives rise to new plants. This is also very, very important here. The bulbil is also a main important thing. And then last one, turians. Okay, these are all fleshy buds that develop into aquatic plant for aquatic plant propagation as well as the perennizations. For example, pomato, gen, and also uticularia. The Uticularia as well as the Formodoxan, what are they? They are all are one of the leaf modifications. Uticularia, it look like a ball-like structures. It may be, it has a, it is a aquatic plant, and also it is easily floating on the water surface. Yeah, because it has a, what is that, buoyancy nature, because it's inside what happened, there is a Yarngema present in it. That's why it is also floating on the surface of the water. Like which one, that is one of the Pistia also. Pistia also, the present inside there is a Yarngema is there, because the Yarngema filled with the air, so it has the ability to buoyancy nature. Okay, here one more is there. Very, very important question. So this is called as, these are the diagram. Already I saw here. First one is called as Pistia. Second one is called as Bryabellum. There is an internode in between the branches. Okay, in between the branches, that is called as offset. Second one, just to see it, that Bryophyllum. Bryophyllum is nothing but the leaf. There are so many veins. It's also there in the border. To the margin of the leaf, there is a small bud-like structure is there. The bud is grow a small advantageous buds. The buds detach from the parent. It grows a new plant. This is the another one. And then third one is called as, what is that? Bulbils, a gave. Okay. And then fourth one is called as tuber of potato. Potato, there is a eye spot is there. Okay. But the small eye spot is there. The eye spot also having a small bud-like structures. The buds also one of a modification of axillary bud. Okay, it gives rise to an entire plant. Okay, and also another one is called as, what is that? A rhizome of ginger. Ginger, there is a node is there. Each and every node is separated by a small lion-like structures. Okay, small. What is that? Horizontal line is there. Okay, in between there is a small leaf-like structure is also. The leaf-like structure is also called as scaly leaves. Sometimes they ask the questions. Okay, scaly leaves, and also the tip of the rhizome. There are so many small bud-like structure is there. That buds also grow as a entire plant. Okay, go to the next one is called as, what is that? And just to see the inside the box. Terror of Bengal. What is the meaning of terror of Bengal? Why it is called as terror of Bengal? That is the name of the plant is called as, what is that? Eichhornia. Take an example. Terror of Bengal, otherwise called as Eichhornia. It is one of the aquatic plant and also water hyacinths. Most invasive weed in standing water. Maximum what happened, most of the aquatic, take an examples, bond or lac or something else, you can take an examples. The upper part, there is a green color plant is also with a violet color flowers. Okay, that is called as water hyacinths and also the Eichhornia. So what happened, it completely cover the surface of the water bed, completely cover the water surface. Okay, then what happened? The sunlight did not penetrate into the water molecules. It will not penetrate because it completely trapped the water bed. Okay. So as a result, what happened to the aquatic animals? They will not get the light as well as the oxygen molecules. Okay. As a result, what happened? The biological oxygen demand also happened. Biological BOD, simply called as BOD. As a result, what happened? It drains oxygen from the water. So which lead to the death of the fish. What are the aquatic animals present in the bond? What happened? It not get the enough oxygen. As a result, what happened? Completely lack of oxygen. The condition is called as biological oxygen demand. Finally, what happened? It lead to death. As a result, what happened? It emit the unpleasant odor. That unpleasant odor is called as eutrophication. This is also so many times they were asked the questions. Biological oxygen demands, and also another one is called as eutrophications. And then what given examples of terror of Bengals. So Eichhornia is also called as what? Like that they are asked so many times. This plant was introduced in India because of its beautiful flowers. Okay, it can propagate vegetatively at the phenomenal rate and spread all over the water body in the short period. It can be easily spread out throughout the water bed. That's why it is called as a Terra Bengal. Okay, so many lands occupied in this type of plants. And we will pass on to the next one is called as what is an artificial method of vegetative propagation. We know about what is made artificial method. Suppose so many nurseries, not only nurseries, there are so many commercial oriented fruits. Take an examples of pomegranate and also sapota, mango, and whatever it may be. There are so many commercial oriented fruits also produced by the artificial method of vegetative propagation. What are the method they have given? There are three methods having given here. One is called as cutting, another one is called as layering, and third one is called as grafting. Okay, one is called as cutting, and second one is called as layering, and third one is called as grafting. What is the meaning of cutting? Cutting means about that. It is the most common method of vegetative propagation. Take an examples of drumstick. You cannot grow without seeds, isn't it? Okay, here you have to cut the stem and then place it in the favorable condition, grows in drumstick. Take an examples of rose. Likewise, the stem and also leaves, roots, part of the leaves, and also what is that? And thick cans. Cans means nothing but the sugar can. Sugar can, if you want to grow, just a two node with buds. You cut it and also play and also planted into the what is the place. What will happen? You will get the entire plant. For these plant pods that are what is that? Insect and disease free or selected. Suppose when you are placing a new one, when you are placing the new one, so you have to prepare the what is that? Entirely disease free. You have to select it. Then only you will get the good yield. Otherwise, it will lead to the loss of things. Okay. What the next one is called as? What is that? Stem cutting. Stem, you have to cut the 3 to 6 inches long and also place in the favorable conditions. You will get the yield. So what are the things they have given? Stem cutting. See that coffee, grape, and citrus, and sugarcane, and bougainvillea, and protons, and also China rose. These are all considered known as stem cuttings. And second one is called as leaf cuttings. What is by leaf cuttings? Leaf also having already about the leaf blade or leaf and petioles. It is also having the what is that? And grow as an entire plant. That is called as totipotens already about. The leaf cutting consists of the leaf or the leaf blade and petiole. The new plant or form at the base of the leaf or petiole. For sans, what is that? Sans severia. Okay, the long leaf blade are cut into 3 to 4 inches sections. Cutting must be properly oriented in the rooting media. In plants such as the bryobulum, also known as the mother of thousands, they may ask the questions. Bryobulum, leaf already told you, we discussed it. The bryobulum is also known as the mother of thousands or the pickyback plant. The leaf support develop into teeny shoots buds. These buds may begin to form a root and their base. And these shoots break off from the original leaf. They fall onto the ground and take a root. Example, Streptococcus and Begonia. Okay, Begonia. These are the examples of leaf cutting. And root cutting, already but there are so many things is there. Okay, some herbaceous plants such as blackberry, raspberry, citrus, tamarind, acanthus, papavera, flax, and also verbascum can be propagated from the root cutting. So these are the cutting. Okay, the leaf cutting and root cutting and also stem cutting and all those things. These are all considered cuttings. Second main method is called as layering. Layering means, what is the meaning of layering? The plant is alive. Okay, the plant is alive in nature. At the same time, the stem is also attached to the parent. Okay, the development of root in the parent plant itself. Okay, it's one of the methods. The development of the root on the stem, while the stem is still attached to the parent plant, is called as layering. Okay, the layer is the rooted stem following detachment from the parent plant. Okay, this is another thing. The soft basal branches is defoliated in the middle where and a small injury of the cut is made. Later, as the root develop, the branches or layer is separated and planted. Example: rose, jasmine, graphene, lemons. These are all considered known as layering. There are so many type of layering is also there. Here, what happened? The plant is alive at the same time. Roots are produce it itself. There are some method is there. Suppose if you want to know means I will send to here. There is a diagram is there in the right side. So you can see it. Okay. See the upper part. See, this is called as layering. Simple layering means the plant is here alive in nature. Here the plant is alive in nature. The first one, see the first one, simple layering. The plant is alive in nature. The plant branches also bent into the what is the ground floor, and also there what happened, there is a root also produced. After the formation of roots, it is detached from the parent, and also it grows a new one. Okay, it's also transferred into the somewhere else. Otherwise, called as there is a small bicky bag, and also grow into the new plant. Okay. So type of layering they have given us the three things. I think the first one is called a simple layering. Simple layer is already I told you. This one is called a simple layering. Simple layering can be accomplished by the bending or low growing flexible stem to the ground, cover part of it with the soil, leaving the remaining 6 to 12 inches above the soil. The soil bend will often induce the rooting. Already told you that. Already show you the diagram. There is a plant is the parent plants. There is a branch is that branch is how many inches? 6 to 12 inches above the soil, but at the same time it bent into the, it touches the soil only. After that, what happened? A few days later or a few weeks later, what happened? Automatically the roots also originated. So after the root formation, what happened? It detached from the parent. Okay, detached from the parent and placed into the somewhere else. Placed into grows into entire plant. Example: climbing roses, rhododendron, and also honeysuckles. And second one is called as compound. What is the meaning of compound layering? Compound layering is also is nothing but the many layers. Okay, more than one layer. Likewise, see that compounding means layering is similar to the simple layering, but several layers can result from a single stem. See the diagram. See the diagram. See the diagram. Here the second one. Compound layering is the small plant is there. The parent plant is also there. Here the only one first diagram you can see it. The first only one bend is there. In this category there are two bend is there. That means 2 or 3 fold is there. So 2, 3 fold means there are 2, 3. What is that? Plants. So plants also we can easily grow in this method. Okay, that is given here, but several layers can result from a single stem. The method work well for plant producing vine like growth such as pothos, clematis, and graves. Okay, if you want more plantlets, you can grow these type of methods. Okay, and then third one is called as air layering and gouty forming. In this method, usually employed for the propagation of lemon, orange, guava, and also lychee during the early monsoon raining. In this case, a healthy and woody branch is selected and the bark is sliced off in a ring form. Already, about 3 to 5 inches, the outer layer is completely removed and also add with the clay or cow dung or something else. You have to place it in it and covered with the polythene paper, and you put a small holes. 2 to 3 months, what will happen? The root also originated. After the root origination, already about the method. Just remove the branches from the parent plant and grow into the entire favorable condition. See the third one. Third one, see the diagram. Here the parent plant is the parent plants. There is a branch is that the branch, the outer cover that is called as pod completely removed. So the center portion, the xylem and phloem is containing the food metal. Already about that things also. It covered with that cow dung or charcoal and something else is like that. Okay, and also covered with the polythene packer and tied it let it free for a few hours or few days or a few weeks. What will happen? It will produce a roots, and the roots also, after the root formation, you just cut the plant and place it into the favorable condition. You will get it the new plant. This is also another thing. And crafting is also another method. Here, what happened? Very, very, very important things is here. What is that? See, the grafting is a practice in plants that do not root easily. Do not root easily. What is that? Have a weak or root systems. Have a weak root systems. Suppose the plant do not have the specific weak root system. Suppose if it is present in it, what happened? It cannot be able to grow. Okay, but we need the commercial aspect that plant. So such time, what happened? The grafting methodology they were used. That plant must possess cambium for secondary growth. Then only it will be growth. Otherwise, it will not grow. That means the center portion of the bark contains the xylem and phloem. Xylem containing about the water molecules from the lower part of the plant into upper part of the plant. And phloem already it also transfer the food materials from the one part of the plant to another part of the plant. Okay, here you must note it on it. This question also already asked. The basic or main part is called the stalk. What is meant by stalk? What is meant by cyan? See, take any pot plant, like made a cut or 4 or 5 inches. Okay, so that is called a stalk. You are adding the another one, another plant crafted to the stalk is called as cyan. Take a two plant. One is a good quality, another one is a good colors, or whatever it may be like that. Which one it has a roots with pot? That plant is called a stalk. Which do not have the root, but at the same time the branches is there. Okay, that is called as cyan. See here. So first, just see the diagram. See the pictures. You can see you can easily understand. Okay. See the first one. The above part is called as cyan because it has a 2 nodes only. Okay, there is no root, but at the same time there is a sharp cut also made by the planter. Okay, and the lower there is a stalk is there. What is the meaning of stalk? Stalk is nothing but the presence of roots. Okay, the upper part is called as cyan and the lower part is called as stalk. Both branches are different plants and inserted the cyan into stalk and also tie with the rope. After few weeks, what will happen? It will grow as a entire plant. Example they have given as what is that? Pruners and also and malus. These are the 2 examples as given in your book. And next one is called as same methodology, also followed by the see that approach grafting. Approach grafting is also similar to that of the previous one, but here the 2 plantlets also plants are need and 2 different plants. The lower part of the cyan as well as the upper part of the what is that stalk is also very essential. And also it's made a trunk-like what is that cut. So both are both you have to make a trunk-like cut and also join together and tie it, and as a result, what happen? You will get the entire plant after a few weeks or few months. What will happen now? It will go. It produce so many branches. Finally, you will get the entire plant. So these are the diagrams. See, the first one is called as cyan and stalk. Already in our but first one there is a trunk-like structure. Is there? It's inserted into the stalk. As a result, the next diagram, just you see it, the entire plant will keep grow and also produce there. And then third one is called as ground crafting. Ground crafting is nothing but the stalk plants also just made a cut in the both sides, and also the another plant, a small branch also inserted and tie it. You will get the ground's upper part of the plant. Okay, and then third one is called as approach crafting. Approach crafting means you can cross with the different plants. Different plants mean taken examples of support. One is a good quality, another one is size is very high. You know, both are were propagated together or grafted together with the joining of that. That means you have to make a cut in the park. In this A plant is there, just you cut the you have to make a cut, and also another one is also is there. You have to make a cut. In both the cuts united together with the tie. After the tie, you know about the method. Just to cover with the polythene bag. After a few weeks, what will happen? It produces the it may be interchange the hormones as well as the other components. As a result, it will produce the good quality as well as the size of the plant. Okay, these are all are comes under the critics known as what is that? And grafting and layering and cutting. These are the another vegetative propagation methodology mostly used for the commercial purpose. And here, what is the main importance? You know, one more is that root setting hormones. So root setting hormone is also another one. It's nothing but the chemical substances. Suppose if you want to induce a root, okay, and also shoot also is there. You know about one of the components. Chemical components also there. Naturally produced component already one of the component that is called indolestic acid. It's also commercially prepared in the form of artificial component that is called indole butyric acid, and another one is called as naphthoacetic acid. These are the two components are maximum commercially prepared. They may induce that root. So maximum in nursery they are used with this type of things. What are the significance of vegetative reproduction? You know what about? So some of the significance in plant. See that vegetative plants in which useful characteristics of the parent have to be maintained or propagated vegetatively. Already told you. Suppose you are taking any one of the supporter plant. Okay, it has a good quality. Quality means sweet, taste, but the size will be very small in nature. At the same time, another plant is there. The sweet is not there, but the size of the fruits will be very big. So you will get the two samples and also cross with it. That means vegetative propagation. When we done it, what will happen? You will get it the good quality as well as a good size of fruits. So that's why it's a what is that useful characteristics we are going to propagate here. And the second one is called as a plant with reduced power of sexual reproduction. Some of the plant they will not produce their sexual reproduction. Such type of plants they can easily